Welcome, everybody. This is day 12. We are having a blast. This is the Summer Reading Regatta. Tonight's race leg is the children's fiction race leg, and we're going to have a great time with three really talented and gifted authors sharing stories with you. If you have young people in your household, you should gather them up in front of the screen. Simulcast this onto your TV screen so it's big and giant on the wall. Do whatever you need to do to gather everybody together, because tonight is absolutely family friendly, and it's a great storytelling opportunity for all the little ones. So here we are at our Children's Regatta Leg. Tonight, Carol Trembath, Lisa Jacovsky, and Beth Magee will all be reading for you, and we're going to talk about that as the night progresses. But first, I want to have Christopher Gare, one of our harbor crew, go through the Sailor Shore School for you tonight.
You know, I finally gotten used to saying that quickly. Now I can pretty much do it without stuttering.
Awesome.
So in the past, we started off on June 7th with Caroline Tupperman doing images and prompts, views, port, and starboard. And that was an incredible, fun evening of using prompts to start writing. I wasn't sure what we were getting into as far as that went, but it was a lot of fun, and they have a replay of it, which you can catch for $10, but more on that in a moment. We also had Kate McNeil doing street and launch teams, and that was also a tremendous amount of information, to the point where I'm going to need to watch it a couple of times to get everything that she was talking about, because there is an abundance of really solid information out there, and she was phenomenal with it.
By the way, that was a 30-page transcript. It'll be up tomorrow because I'm not done editing it yet. So 30 pages.
And it's worth it. It is well worth it. Coming up on June 15th, we have D.A. Reed, or she's known on the hood here, Da Reed, where you had me at the hook, opening lines, because everybody wants a really solid opening line for your book. If you can't catch them with that opening line, chances are you are going to lose them. Also coming up is Weapons in Fiction with Andrew Smith on June 27th, and that is a PG-13, only because he's going to get into weapons, what weapons can do. I believe he's got some videos or some pictures he's going to show as well. And finally, on, I covered it up. I think it's June 28th. It is. Brent, Seth, and I are doing Land Ho world building, building worlds by mystique, or in my case, completely by mistake. So tune into that. That is going to be a lot of fun also. Each one of these, if you sign up ahead of time, is $5. And that means you get to watch it live, and you also get to download it and the transcript. If you happen to miss it, it's $10. You get the replay, which also does include the download and the transcript as well.
Absolutely. And like I say, Kate's program was so packed with information. It's taken me a little longer to edit that transcript. So like I said, 30 pages on that, it's phenomenal. If you're interested in marketing your book, you're going to want to download that transcript. So tonight, I want to introduce my harbor crew. I could not do this without them. Kate McNeil, you just heard Christopher Gare, Brent Seth, and Deborah Reed's back. We're super excited to have her back. Tonight, two members of the harbor crew are on shore leave, Andrew Smith and Caroline Tupperman. They will be joining us again as the regatta continues later in the month. So thank you all. I'm really appreciative of everything that all of you do. You keep my ship afloat, and I am very, very grateful. So tonight, we will be hearing from Beth Magee, Lisa Jacovsky, and Carol Trembath, all super cool authors, super talented, and they're going to share their work with us. Up tonight first, I got to figure this out. Okay, here we go. Up tonight first is going to be Carol Trembath, and she wrote this awesome book called Water Walkers. Now, I first met Carol 4 or 5 years ago now. We met at Carytown in Ann Arbor at the book festival there, and her book was still in the production stages, and I got to see the very first galley pages for this book and the initial artwork. It was spectacular. I was completely blown away. Since then, Carol has written more and done more with her amazing artist, but this book is Yeah, I'm completely blown away by this. The story is rich and vibrant, and the illustrations are just spectacular. Welcome, Carol. I'm so glad you're here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm also glad that you've continued to remain a part of our community. I love seeing all the new works that you bring to us. Your middle grade book is awesome in historical fiction for young people. Harriet Tubman is a fascinating character, so I'm really glad that you brought that to us again. Please tell us a little bit about Water Walkers and where you got the idea for this story.
Okay. Well, as a classroom teacher and media specialist, you always have to do continuing education. And these books, the first one is Water Walkers. The second one, Walking Lake Superior. This is the second, Stepping Stones, Walking Lake Michigan, which the Native people really did. And these are award-winning books. And the third one is Ripples and Waves, Walking Lake Huron. My artist has my fourth book. He had it since a year ago, but with the pandemic, things slowed down. He had lots of deaths. He's a Native American in Washington, the state of Washington. And he's had a lot of tragedies lately. And so, I mean, you know, so things have slowed down.
You know what? The quality of his work is astounding.
Phenomenal.
So if it takes him a little while longer, we can all forgive that, because his work is just tremendous.
Tremendous.
So can you tell us about the story behind Water Walkers, where you got the idea, and give us the setup before you read?
These books also have been a finalist with the Eric Hoffer Independent Award. And for the Grand Award, they've also won, the first one, Water Walkers, won the Eye of Da Vinci for its artwork, and up at Traverse City, the Moonbeam Awards, they won for Best in Diversity and Series. This is where the book came from. I went to Chicago, and in Chicago, what I saw was this beautiful fountain called the Fountain of the Great Lakes. It was right next to the Art Institute. And the instructor said, you know, this great fountain was done after, you know, the fire of the Chicago fire. And so this great artist sculptor was commissioned to do something to represent the Great Lakes. The instructor, when we were there in Chicago at this National Endowment, said, you know what, I want you to notice something about this fountain. There are 5 women. Superior's at the top, and her water from the conch shell goes to Lake Michigan, and then over to, in the center, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and then Lake Ontario. But what is different about it? Nobody raised their hand. And he said, look at Lake Ontario. She is kneeling with her hand outstretched and pointing at us to take care of the Great Lakes. And when that happened, I got goosebumps, which are really truth bumps. They really are. And I go, I got to write a book about the Great Lakes. And then I didn't know where to begin. And as a media specialist teacher, I don't have time during the school year, but by May I was ready. And I found out that the sculptor liked Native people. And over the Rock River in Illinois, he did a wonderful statue of Black Hawk, Chief Black Hawk, over the Rock River in Illinois. It's 3 stories tall. So this is where it came from, because then I found the actual water walkers, the real life Native water walkers who I've been friends with for a long time, trying to get the message out about their tremendous water walk. The first water walk around Lake Superior was 1,372 miles. They walk 30, 40, or 50 miles a day. And then around Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, they walked down the Mississippi, brought water from the 4 corners of the United States into the heart of North America, which is Lake Superior. So they've done a lot. And I just thought, well, that's the end, because Josephine Mandelman, the head of the Water Walkers, died a year and a half ago. And I thought, that's it. But then in my head, I kept hearing Past the Feather. So David has the next book about Lake Erie, Past the Feather. So we'll see where that goes. So that's the story. So are we ready for this one?
Awesome. Okay, so Carol is going to read from Water Walkers. You've got about 5-7 minutes, Carol. I know you may not be able to get through the whole book, but just if you could read a taste of it for us,
Sure.
so that you can, as
Yeah.
we say, wet our whistle to go buy it later.
Yeah, here we go. Ka-tink, ka-tink, ka-tink. Water splashed in the copper pail as I walked along the lakeside path. One step and then another. I tried to keep up with my big sister, Winona, Uncle Joe, and my Anishinaabe grandmother. I should have done this with a PowerPoint. I haven't had a PowerPoint. As I walked, I remember my grandmother's words to her Ojibwe people. Our sacred water is in trouble. We will walk long distances with a copper pail and pray for the water with each step. We will circle the lakes to protect them for our children and our grandchildren. That's exactly what they do. Grandmother planned to walk around each of the Great Lakes one by one. She taught me that it is our Ojibwe people's custom to watch over and protect the water. I thought about grandmother's words and I wondered, how could I help? Grandmother told us that we would first start our water walk around the big lake, Gitchigami. Oops. Excuse me. I wanted to go too, but my big sister Winona and Uncle Joe said, you're just too little to go. My grandmother said, even our little ones can make ripples and waves. Mai will tell me what she sees because she sees like the clever coyote. From then on, I became a water walker for Mother Earth. I hope that light isn't reflecting too much. Anyway. On a cold and rainy April morning, we began our walk in O'Donnell, Wisconsin. Uncle Joe carried the eagle staff, and I took my favorite doll and held my grandmother's hand. Each morning before a daily walk, my job was to pour the lake water into the copper pail. Grandmother prayed to bless the water and sang an Ojibwe healing song. She took tobacco from her pouch and placed it in the water as a gift of thanks. After the morning ceremony, we took turns walking, and I walked each day with my grandmother. I looked for ways to help because grandmother told me that even little people can do big things. In a busy fishing town, trash floated in the water and baby ducks swam with empty bottles and cans. One duck was caught in a plastic baggie. Uncle Joe helped me to free it as an eagle circled above the sky. Grandmother said, you might, like an eagle, are developing wings and a keen sight to help others. Your vision is increasing. I decided to look for cans and bottles to recycle. I knew I could help. At sunset, after many miles of walking, Winona and I saw a family of deer. The deer walked a long way over rocks to get a cool drink from the lake. My big sister said deer must now walk much farther out in the lake for water. I asked grandmother, where did the water go? Grandmother frowned and said, our lake water is vanishing, but deer can teach you. Be like the deer and look beyond the water's edge. See what is happening to Mother Earth. Her lifeblood is water. And like the deer, you have a gift to hear and see things from a distance. I smiled when I remembered Winona telling me to conserve water, to turn it off after I used it. I am listening or learning. The next day, Uncle Joe pointed out a big bear, and we could see the bear splashing the lake. He was trying to catch a fish. Too bad he didn't catch anything, my big sister Winona sighed. But my grandmother looked worried and whispered to me, the bear in Indian lore has always been a sign of strength and courage. But today, this bear reached far out into the water. He tried to spear a fish with his great claws, but there were none. Grandmother said, are you seeing everything? Bear is asking you to look beneath the water to see something more. There are fewer fish, but like the hibernating bear, go within Mai and seek your answers. But like the sleeping bear, you must also come out of your den. You must tell others. The bear is a good teacher. But grandmother, I said, I'm too little to be a teacher. I do not know what to do. My grandmother pointed out a little rabbit. She spoke softly. You can learn from the rabbit not to be afraid. Rabbits are known to speak for all the little animals. They do move forward step by step. They make leaps and hops. You can too. A little crooked there. Rabbits have big families with many brothers and sisters. You have a human family that you can talk with. Tell your family about what is hurting our water and Mother Earth. Talk to your mother and father and everyone who cares about our sacred water. It can begin with you. It's time for more water walkers for Mother Earth. Water holds memories. It reflects back to us all of what we could be and ought to be. It took us 36 days to walk around the big lake, Gitchigami. I like being a water walker, and I will remember how to help Mother Earth, how to conserve water, to pick up trash and recycle. I will walk with my grandmother again around all the other Great Lakes. I can make more ripples and waves. I know I can. And that's that. So
excellent. Well done. I just love the art. I love the stories. They're very simple, but they're such true stories that I think they resonate for all cultures.
Right.
I want to touch just on one thing and then open up the room for questions. In the back of this book, and I don't know if the other books have the same thing, but you have a glossary of terms for young people to understand. What made you decide to include that in a children's book?
Well, being a classroom teacher in Plymouth Canton School District, and then a media specialist for years and years and years, kids don't know certain words. And, you know, in this book, we're talking about 4 things. Every book has 4 things in it because Native people do things in 4s. So the first book had 4 animals: the eagle, the bear, the hare, and the deer. This one, Stepping Stones, has 4 stones, which are like Michigan's stones, Petoskey, our state gem, chlorastrolite, moonstone to remind us grandmother moon, and so on, and the fulgurite, not the fulgurite, but the other one. And in this one, we're talking about weavers, because Josephine's purpose was to bring all the tribes together. And so we're talking dream weavers and elements in the dream weavers. But again, you know, it's just, it takes a while to get that thing in your head, and then you go for it. Now I can't remember your question.
No, that's all right. You answered it. It's all good.
Okay.
Okay. So everyone else in the room, if you have any questions for Carol, please feel free to offer those questions now. And if you have, if you're not on camera and you'd like to ask questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and Brent and Deborah will help me to field those. Deborah, go ahead.
It was just wonderful because, yeah, like Diana said, they're just very simple stories, and they're not very long, but I felt like there was so much in there to learn from. How did you, and I know being a teacher helps because you're kind of trained to think of those things, but how did you come up with what to focus on in each book? Like, I know it was like the water walkers, but like you said, you mentioned there's 4 things in each one. Like, how do you kind of pinpoint what would be the best thing for each book?
Well, okay. The first one, again, we do things in 3s. The traditional European model is Goldilocks and the 3 bears, and Cinderella and the shoes and the 3 sisters, all of that in 3s. Native people do things in 4. So the idea was with 4 animals, and I tried to come up with ideas about 4 animals, you know, in the first one. And it, you know, Ted Andrews, he is a great Native American, and he has a nice thick book called Animals Speak. And then I would go through it and figure out which ones would be the most important. For like the next book, Stepping Stones, I knew I had to come up with stones. Well, that's easy. It's Petoskey, our state gem, the moonstone to remind us grandmother moon, and the last one, which is the lightning rock. It isn't a fulgurite, which is hit by lightning, but it is a lightning that the Native people actually use these stones that come up out of Lake Michigan. If there's a hot spot, and these stones look like they've been hit by lightning, and they used to tell stories with them. So that's this one. And then this one, the dream catchers have elements in them of 4s, you know, 4 colored to represent the 4 directions and so on.
But yeah, I remember those 4 directions. I've done a lot of sweat lodges and vision questing. I have a friend who's a Native American shaman, and everything in that culture is in 4s, and it all comes back to the 4 directions of Earth. So it's very, very cool stuff. Anybody else have questions for Carol before we move on to our next reader?
I just have a comment, not a question, but just that very last line was so incredibly powerful about, especially for a child, I'm going to be the ripples and the waves. That was just amazing. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I keep telling them that when I'm in front of them in an audience, you too can make ripples and waves. And then a lot of times I come up and I give them stones as a handout, say, if you like what you heard, take care of the planet, take care of our water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you're here tonight. And again, I'm so happy to have you in the community and now a full-fledged member of our family. And thank you so very much. So I want to show everybody Carol's book again, so you can be reminded when you go to look for it in the Harbor Store catalog. This is Water Walkers. And again, the artist is just so gifted. The art will absolutely knock you off your chair when you see it. It's pretty spectacular. So next, we are going to hear from Lisa Jacovsky, and she has written, this is her second book, Let's Talk Going to the Zoo. Her first book was just amazing and so delightful. I'm so glad, Lisa, that you came back a second time to share your next book.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you found us. I'm so glad we made the connection.
Me too.
Your stories deal with a really important topic, I think, in a very gentle way. You are teaching us all more about autistic children and how they manage in real life and how other people can be introduced to them and share their lives with autistic children. And I think that connection is very cool. And you're doing it in such a delicate, warm, fuzzy way. I
appreciate that.
I'm so pleased. I really am so pleased.
I really
so could you please give us a little bit of your background and then tell us about how you got the idea for the Let's Talk series?
Absolutely. And I really appreciate all of that. That's the reason I wrote the book. So, the more people that tell me that, the more it really makes it worth it. So my background's actually in applied behavior analysis. So I've worked with little ones with autism going on 3 years. I've been in the field. I worked with adults first for 4 years. I've been in this field for 7 years now, and I'm actually working on my doctorate in applied behavior analysis. So
that's heroic stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a Herculean task. Oh my gosh.
Dissertation is crazy. So I'm very close to being done. 1 more year, done with my dissertation. I appreciate that. Thank you. Because it really is. It's crazy. But it's really where I've gotten all my inspiration from, and it's helped tremendously with writing these books. So I'm very grateful for my background and my career. And I honestly love what I do. I work in early intervention, and it's really fun. But that's where I got a lot of my inspiration, and that's where the techniques in the book come from. They're actually applied behavior analysis techniques for communication that I use. And I wanted to showcase in my book some things that I've done in the past, which is take my clients out to different places. So a lot of times people think, oh, they have autism, they can't do this or that. Well, they can do any and everything. And that's why my first book is them at the pool swimming, and this one's them at the zoo. So this is a new thing that they do. And it's really to show that just because a little one can't verbally speak doesn't mean they can't go and have some fun at the zoo. And this book tackles a very important social issue as well. And it's important to me to show different social issues that little ones with autism face too, and how to work on that. And for me, it's really about inspiring our families, inspiring families to take their little ones out to that activity, and our little ones to go and befriend another little one that may be different. Break down those barriers. Don't let it stop you. So this book tackles bullying, and they make a new friend, and it's really fun. I absolutely love animals. I've got a little bit of an obsession and passion with animals. So doing this with the zoo, I put in some of my favorite animals, and it was a really, really fun project to work on. So far, everyone's been saying they actually like it more, the illustrations, especially for book 1. So it's been really cool.
I'd absolutely love it if you could take, again, 5-7 minutes and read us a little bit, please, and then we'll talk some more after.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so let's see. There we go. So you can see the illustrations really good. Hi, my name is Harper, and this is my best friend, Emma. She has autism, which is just a fancy way of saying she learns differently than I do. But boy, she does not let it stop her from having fun. Autism also means she may act differently around me and other kids. She can become excited easily and begin to flap her hands. I usually smile and flap my hands with her. Many other kids like us do not really understand, but I am always happy to talk to them about what Emma might be doing. Emma talks to me differently than my other friends, as she cannot use her mouth to talk because of autism. That is okay though, because she does not need her mouth to talk to me. She can read and write, so she uses flashcards. She writes using a pad and pencil. We talk all the time and laugh together. We are always going on adventures and having fun together. We are best friends. We both love animals, but neither of us have been to the zoo yet. My mommy always says that as Emma has autism, we can learn so much from her and teach her other friends. That is exactly what we did the first time we went to the zoo. I'm going to tell you about our first adventure to the zoo and some new things that we learned. Our daddies said they would take us to the zoo one day, and boy, were we happy. It was finally the day for our visit to the zoo. We were so excited. We were almost jumping up and down while holding hands with our daddies as we walked into the zoo. The first animals we went to see were in what they called the touch pool. It means we could actually touch the animals there. We touched starfish, sea urchins, and something called a cow-nosed ray. Daddy said we had to be very gentle so that we did not hurt the animals. Emma and I both loved the animals. After visiting the touch pool, we went to see the tigers and lions. They were our favorite animals. The tigers were big and orange and so pretty. We could stare at them all day. We just didn't want to leave this section of the zoo, but there was so much more to see. Next, we went to see the monkeys. The monkeys could climb so high and swing so fast. Emma and I could not believe it. It was so fun to watch the monkeys swinging through the trees. Emma got so excited that she began to flap her hands and make a grunting noise. When Emma was flapping her hands, some other kids came over and began to point and laugh at her. She did not seem to mind though. She kept looking at the monkeys, but I frowned at the group because what they were doing seemed mean. Why are you pointing and laughing at my friend? I asked the girl in front. Her name was Jeanette. Because she looks dumb flapping her hands. Who does that in public? Jeanette said, laughing. I said to her, Emma has autism, which means she learns differently than we do and may sometimes act differently, but it does not mean she's dumb. That is mean to say about my friend. She can read and write and understand everything we say to her. Then our daddies came over, swinging their arms like monkeys and making silly sounds. My daddy said, Emma may act differently sometimes, but that is okay because being silly anywhere is what monkeys always do. Monkeys don't care what anyone else thinks, so why should we? Let's have fun. He started to jump up and down and make silly faces. Then one of the boys in the group walked over to us and began to jump up and down and swing his arms. Hi, I'm Jerry. I like being silly and think autism is cool, he said, smiling at me and Emma while the group of mean little kids walked away. Jerry, our daddies, Emma, and I jumped up and down, swinging our arms, laughing so hard until our bellies hurt. After I made a new friend in Jerry, we went around the rest of the zoo with him, his daddy, and our daddies. We got to see bears, birds that were the colors of the rainbow, and sea lions. We even got to feed a llama. We had the best day and learned a valuable lesson. No matter what anyone else thinks, it is more fun to be ourselves, no matter how silly we look. And that's it.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. I love your writing. It's so accessible
So much.
and fun.
That's what I try.
I absolutely love that you write from a little person's voice.
Thank you.
I think you've nailed it. Emma,
Thank you so much.
you're a little person. Do you think she did a good job with this book? Yeah.
Yeah. She was immediately engaged and she picked up right away. She's like, oh, does this character have autism? And like she was asking a few questions. And so yeah, it was, I think too, I mean, very well done. And I think, yeah, the voice of your character was just right on and just so important. Such an important topic. Yeah.
Oh, I really appreciate that. I'm so glad she loved it too.
So one of the things that I saw in the book that I just loved, and I noticed you did this in the book, in you seem to do this in all your work. There's a picture that I want to show. This one right here. I love that you have made all of your characters inclusive.
Yes.
All of the characters in this book look different from each other. And
that was very, very important to me.
And so that was a conscious choice you made.
Yes, it was, because I feel like, and it's the same reason that Emma is African American, and I mean Emma is Eastern Indian, and Harper is African American. I wanted to showcase something different. Me being a white female, it's just expected of me to do just white, and that's not me. I never do what's expected of me, and I honestly wanted to show a different side to someone like me, you know, because I've always gotten judged, you know, and I wanted to show that I can be different and I can do better, and that, you know, I can be inclusive. My best friend's African American, my baby cousins are half Jamaican. You know, I'm open to everyone and everything, and I want to bring that message out to people to show that, you know, I can be like that too. And I want people to see that little kids, no matter their color, their gender, doesn't matter. They can all be friends. So that was something very, very important to me too. And you're going to see that all throughout. There's going to be more. I got more ideas for inclusivity.
Fantastic.
Can I quick comment too?
Yeah.
My next door neighbor, their grandkid is autistic, and I work with folks who are autistic, and we do get autistic patients in. So I thought the message in your book was absolutely stellar, amazing, and completely spot on. And I wish there were more messages like that.
Me too. That means the world to me. I really, really appreciate that. And that's exactly why I wrote the stories, because there's not enough out there. And, you know, a few weeks ago, I was asked to look for books that were comparable to mine, and all the books had male characters. There weren't that many female characters. There weren't that many with different cultures. It was crazy. You know, so I wanted to do something different, and just having the community of people who work with little ones or adults with autism, it really means a lot that you understand the message, because it's really for everybody. You know, there needs to be more positive awareness out there.
Absolutely.
And that's my goal, is to really change that negative stigma around autism, because to me, it's just a different way to learn. I think it's beautiful.
Valerie mentioned something in the chat. She says, yay for dads. And I think that this is a really important detail that you bring in this book too, is that the majority of children's books are about children in their relationships with moms, and this is about children in their relationships with dads, and I think that's awesome. You did a great job with that.
Thank you. Now
I remember when you first made that comment, or you opened to that page and said our dads took us to the zoo, and I remember stopping you like, Dad, you know, just like for that split second, because it is true that I mean, my husband wouldn't a heartbeat, I'm not saying that, but just the fact that, most books are focused on the relationship with the mother. So I think that was also a nice touch to add that in.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that everybody can see all those different things. You know, I don't get very often, I've never gotten that comment about dads before, so I thought that was really great. And I don't get very often that people see the different cultures. So it really means a lot that you guys are seeing every little detail that I put in. I really want to show more in books too. We need more diversity in books, period. So that really means a lot. Thank you all.
So what comes
one
next?
So next, book 3 is going to go into production in January. So there's going to be a follow-up, and I'm actually going to start production on a new series in November. So that'll be out before book 3. So check out my website, my social media for updates. I have a new series coming out called Rascal Cat Brothers. And it's just a fun, silly book about the ridiculous things my cats do.
Awesome.
Dad asked me to write it, you know.
Brent, this sounds like a collection of books that you may want to read.
I have 11 cats running around the house already. It's already in my life.
So you'll definitely be able to relate.
Brent, did you have another question earlier?
I was just going to clarify in case I missed this. Lisa, did you do the artwork yourself?
No, Blueberry Illustrations did my artwork. They are absolutely incredible. They did it for my first book, and now this one, I actually had them do 4 illustrations for the Rascal Cat Brothers. It originally was going to be a short story, and they did an incredible job. I can't say enough good things about them. And they were always on time, fast work. I gave them so many details. It was ridiculous for this book, and they were incredible. They put up with me.
Awesome. Any other questions for Lisa? Go ahead, Kate.
I just want to say 2 things. Number 1, this is a great example of don't wait until you need a book like this or any of our books tonight. I don't have children. I have 9 nieces and nephews. And so I'm not going to wait until a discussion needs to be had. I can flat out say I'm going to be buying every single book that has been featured tonight to gift to my nieces and nephews, because this needs to be a preemptive discussion. And honestly, all of your voices in all of these books, I was just in tears, honestly, the whole time, because we need so much more of this. The other thing that I just want to say is, if you aren't lucky enough like me to be broke at Christmas, because I have 9 nieces and nephews, consider buying these books and donating them.
Absolutely.
To
what
schools,
a great idea,
to
Kate.
libraries. I was not going to bring this up until it was mentioned just a couple of minutes ago. Meghan Markle's book, The Bench, came out earlier this week, which is about the relationship between a father and child. And so what you all are doing, just please, 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 because that's what people are saying. They're like, I don't have kids. I don't have anybody to give this to. I'm going to buy some copies and donate them. So please, if you don't have anybody to give it to yourself, consider doing that. Please, please consider doing that.
Absolutely. Brent, is there anything else I missed in the chat?
There's some comments, but there's no questions.
Okay,
Comments
awesome.
are so nice. I appreciate all of them. I've been seeing them.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing tonight.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
I really appreciate you being here and sharing your work with us. Again, this is Lisa Jacovsky and her book, Let's Talk Going to the Zoo. And again, I need to remind you, this is book 2. So when you're doing that, donate to a library or donate to a children's hospital or donate to a family member for a gift, you might want to get them both, just cause.
Get them autographed too.
Yeah,
Get them
yeah.
autographed. I mean, honestly, the times that I have donated books, I'm lucky enough, I do have a pipeline to a lot of autographed books. And that makes people light up when they see that, and they just see this is something special. And so, yes, and this is one of the wonderful things about indie authors. You can reach out to them and say, yo, I don't have kids, but I do want to donate this to my local children's hospital. I don't think there is a single indie author in this festival that will refuse to send you either a book plate, an autographed book plate, or just, no, here, I'm sending you the book.
Yeah,
I've got coloring
absolutely.
books. I've got coloring books too that I can absolutely send you to donate. I've got an Etsy shop. You can buy it on there and message me for it to be signed. I've got stickers I can send you. You know, what else do I have? I have puzzles. I have all kinds of fun stuff that go with this. My Etsy
that's
shop.
the thing. In the Harbor Store catalog, there's a way, just click on the author's name and it'll directly connect you with every author we're featuring this month. And you can ask those questions about What else can you share, or can I get it autographed? So make sure that you do that when you go to the catalog. So we're going to move on now to Mary Beth Magee, and she's holding some really super cute stuffed animals. Welcome, Mary Beth. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thank you, Diana, for having me. I appreciate it.
So who are you holding?
Well, this is Pearl the Turtle, heroine of my children's series.
Awesome.
This is her new friend, Becky. Now,
very cool.
Pearl is a Pearl River map. Well, get back in there. Pearl is a Pearl River map turtle. They're an endangered species that was only identified about 5 years ago. And they're already endangered.
Wow. Wow.
When I came across the article about them, it broke my heart to think that they only just found them.
And now they're endangered. Yeah, I got to tell you, this stuffed animal is super soft. I had to guard it against Charlie getting his little teeth on it. Charlie wanted
saw it in person. Charlie was
eyeballing
with
this, and I told him he could not snuggle with the turtle. And who is the other Becky? Who is that?
Becky is a box turtle.
Okay.
And Becky is the new friend that Pearl makes in book 2. Book 1 dealt with Pearl facing peer pressure. Book 2 deals with making friends with people who don't look like you.
Perfect. Okay, let me show everybody the book so that they can, again, find it on the Harbor Store catalog. This is the book that you're going to be reading from tonight. This is Pearl Makes a Friend. This is book 2. So I would love it if you would give everybody a little bit of your background, because you don't just write children's books, you write a bunch of other stuff too.
Well, I'm OCD, so.
See, I'm not OCD, I'm just a little nuts. And I own that. So, so tell us what else you write.
Well, I write cozy Christian mysteries featuring the LOL to the 4th power, which is little old ladies laughing out loud, living our lives with lots of love.
Perfect.
Okay,
and what else do you write?
Then I write devotions. I've written a couple of other children's books. Oh gosh, my first endeavor, which I'm still looking for an illustrator for, is about a zebra, because I dearly love zebras. Barnabas on the Road. But I have several Barnabas stories and no illustrator. For Pearl, I was fortunate enough to connect with a young lady, a high school student actually, who understood my image, my vision, that I wanted it to be a coloring book as well as pictures. So it's black and white illustrations, and you can see, it's not a real elegant detailed picture like some of the others we've seen tonight, but it's for the child to get involved with the book. So much so that my daughter-in-law called in a panic that my granddaughter colored in hers, and it's like, it's okay, they're a coloring book, she's allowed.
So when everybody buys these books for the young people in their lives, you might want to go to your local craft store and get a box of crayons to give it as a gift with the book.
There you go. What a great idea. Makes a great gift.
Absolutely. You know what? I have a box of crayons in my office. When I send out these books as prizes, I will include a box of crayons with them.
Thank you. How wonderful.
So,
I wish I could send you one.
That's okay. I've got like a whole box of them. It's crazy. Okay, so tell us the background for the story, and then if you would read a little bit for us, please.
Okay. Pearl the turtle, a Pearl River map turtle. As I mentioned, they're an endangered species. They're only found in the Pearl River and its tributaries. Well, the Pearl River runs along the edge of the county that I live in South Mississippi. In fact, it is Pearl River County. So this really caught my attention when I saw this new turtle identified. I started putting the stories together because I wanted to bring this turtle to attention in hopes that people would realize that that cute little turtle that they see sitting on a log sunning itself is a living creature and shouldn't just be plinked don't throw something at it just because you want to see if it'll jump off the log. It's a special living creature. And so by trying to give them a personality that people could connect with, I hope to make a difference for Pearl River map turtles.
What a great plan. I love it. It's awesome. Can you read about 5-7 minutes for us?
Absolutely.
And then we'll talk a little bit more after.
Okay, great. This book is actually dedicated, find here, to turtles everywhere and the children who love them, whatever kind of shell they carry.
Nice.
Pearl the turtle stretched on the sandbar as she woke from her sunbathing nap. The sound of the river lapping against the sand had lulled her to sleep. And oops, here's Pearl resting on the sandbar. She walked to the edge of the sand and slid into the water. Her tummy told her it was time to eat. She swam through the Pearl River looking for little fish and insects to eat. Because they aren't very large turtles, they eat small fish. When she had eaten all she needed, she swam back to the sandbar and climbed up into the sunshine. The warmth felt so good to her, she almost fell asleep again. I'd better keep walking, she said, or I'll fall asleep for sure. Here she goes, walking on. On her way back to the pool where she lived, she came upon a big rock she hadn't seen before. My goodness, she thought, what a pretty rock. The markings on it look like a design. How did it get here? I guess I'll have to walk around it. She started around the rock. The rock moved. The bottom opened at the front and the back. A head and 4 legs poked out of it. Then it started to talk. Hello, said the rock. My name is Becky. What's your name? Oops. Pearl looked at Becky and tried to figure out how a rock could talk. My name is Pearl. I am a turtle. Are you a rock? Oh no, laughed Becky. I am a turtle too, a Gulf Coast box turtle. My species lives all along the Gulf of Mexico. Why do you think I'm a rock? You didn't have any legs or head when I first saw you. You were just a big brown and orange lump in the grass. Now you have legs and a head. How did you do that? Well, if I could hold it straight, it'd be all right. God gives me special gifts when he made me, said Becky. When I am in danger or I want to sleep, I can use the hinges on my shell bottom to close my shell like a box to protect me. No one can harm me inside my shell when I am closed up. Then I open the flaps on my shell when I want to come out. I am a Pearl River map turtle, said Pearl. I have this special black ridge down my green back with little points on it, like little hills. The Pearl River is my home. I sleep on a sandbar in the sun or hold on to a log in the river. There are not many of us left. So we are both turtles. We look so different and live so differently. Do you think we could be friends? Becky asked. Maybe, said Pearl. Larry the lizard came along while the turtles talked. Why are you talking to that ugly thing? He asked Pearl. It looks like a rotten banana, all brown and spotted. We green creatures must stick together. Don't talk to that thing. Don't call her a thing. She is a turtle, and her name is Becky. I think she's very pretty with the markings on her shell. She's not green like we are. She cannot be as good as we are, Larry said. Well, at least she's not mean like you are, said Pearl. We want to see if we can be friends. If you're friends with her, you can't be friends with me, Larry replied with a sniff. I didn't know we were friends, said Pearl. You don't act like a friend. You always say mean things to me. Well, how do you know how a friend acts? Asked Larry. I know a friend loves at all times. The Bible says so. You don't act as if you love anything or anyone. How can you be a friend? Larry turned his nose in the air and crawled away. And I love that she's got just Larry's tail disappearing into the sunset down there. I'm sorry he was so mean to you, Pearl told Becky. I don't care what color your shell is or how your shell works. I will try to be a good friend to you. And I will work hard to be a good friend to you, said Becky. God made each of us special, and sometimes that means we look different or speak differently. But we can love each other because we have the same creator. Pearl and Becky walked off together to begin their new friendship.
Well done. Yay. What a sweet story. Oh my gosh. You guys are awesome. I love children's book night because I immediately revert to being 6 years old again. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. I appreciate it. I am going to show Pearl's Makes a Friend. I'm going to show that book one more time. And then I've got a question for our authors. Let me see if I can share my dopey screen here. Technology. There we go. Pearl Makes a Friend. This is such a sweet story. Thank you so much, Mary Beth, for sharing it with us. I really appreciate it. Now, I have a question for the three of you. And then I know Christopher and Kate want to touch on a subject as well. But I want to ask the three of you this question, and we'll go one at a time. But my question is, how do you go about auditioning art for your books? How do you look at portfolios of various artists? Do you put out a call on social media? I'm fortunate enough that I'm married to an astounding artist, so it's a no-brainer for me, but I'm wondering how the rest of you go about auditioning art for your books. Mary Beth, if you could start.
Well, I talk a lot. I tell everybody that I hear, I'm looking for an illustrator. Do you know anyone who does illustrations and is willing to work on shares? Because I do a 50-50 split with my artist on the
Okay.
royalty. And it takes a while sometimes, but this one happened to be the daughter of my doctor.
Wow.
And she goes, oh, my daughter is an artist. She does a lot of anime type stuff. I wonder if she could do this. It's like, well, let's see. And once I explained to her what I wanted to achieve with it, she was right there.
Awesome. Yeah, you never know what you're going to find when you start talking to people. It's pretty amazing.
Networking, just networking.
Absolutely. Lisa, could you talk about that process about auditioning art?
Absolutely. I did a search because I was so new at things. So I did a search. I looked at a bunch of people. We can definitely talk about what paid for. And that was definitely a little bit of a factor too, was the price, because now that I'm in all these author groups on Facebook, I see how expensive illustrations can be. But
Sure.
I took my time and I did a search, I did a comparison, and then I was really blown away by what Blueberry Illustrations did, and they were affordable. They were running a sale. I think they're typically $70 an illustration, but they've done
not exorbitant. That's actually really good.
Really, really good. And I initially wasn't sure if I was going to use them for illustrations and go with a different publisher or use them for both. But I used them for both, and they've done 4 projects for me.
And that's a one-time fee then. You don't have to pay them additional royalties. Okay.
Nope, just a one-time fee.
That's even better. Wow, that's really affordable.
It was $70 per illustration, and they've done 4 projects, my 2 books, 4 illustrations for my cat book. They're gonna do my first cat book, my 3rd book in this, and they did a family book. I wrote my family history down just for like all of us, and they did 4 illustrations for that, and they were incredible. And now
That's great.
illustrations from book 1 are samples on their site.
That's
Who knew?
awesome. Carol,
Yeah.
how did you go about auditioning an artist for your work?
I ended up asking people, especially in Ann Arbor, and one gal I know, a friend of mine, said, why don't you, she had heard about Native Americans, why don't you try, David Craig. I went home, I looked on his website, and I saw one of his pictures, this one. And I sat, and this is little Mai, and I sat at the kitchen table and I just cried. I said, that's her. That is her. Now, I spent a ton of money. When I get a picture from David's website, David Craig, I pay him $250. When David has to make a brand new picture, like for instance, oh gosh, whatever, this one, this is a brand new picture, not on his website. I pay him $500. So,
Yeah. So
this-
the range in pricing for illustrations is really
tremendous.
Yeah,
And-
it's there's a huge gap in between, all of these illustrations. So yeah.
And this one, these are watercolors. This is not done by computer generated. These are watercolors.
Yeah.
So that's why they've won so many awards, because of David's work,
So it's a really important thing to take into consideration when you're budgeting out your books is what kind of art do you want? What's the medium you want? Can you reuse art that's already in the artist portfolio, or do you have to have them do something from scratch? So,
and I'm also a member of the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. And when I did my fairy book, I knew David couldn't do it. And my graphic designer did the cover for Harriet. But so I looked through all of the states, and they have 9 portfolios for every single person, for every state, and multiple states. The big states have like 4 or 5. And the Society of Children's Book Writers has a gallery of artists. And that's how I found the artist that I wanted to use.
That's a really great resource.
Yes, it is.
That's a great resource.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. We're starting to run short on time again, as we are wont to do every night, because I could sit here and listen to you guys read forever. Kate and Christopher, I know you both have some ideas about this. We were talking earlier about donating to hospitals. Who wants to take point on this? I know you guys have had conversation about it.
I'm
so
gonna
you guys
throw
just
it, well,
speak up.
I'm gonna mention something, and then I'm going to throw it to Christopher. So I know, at least in the city that I live in, during the height of COVID, actually all of the little free libraries were closed, as in the city went around and wrapped them up with tape and said, no, these are closed. Even though that might seem extreme to us now, where we've learned a bit more about how is COVID transmitted and such, when we are talking about individuals with compromised immune systems, all the best intentions, I would hope that all of the facilities are taking all of the most extreme precautions, because why not? So I'm going to throw that to Christopher, and if there's anything else I can throw in, I will. But if there's anything, at least in our area, that people need to be aware of before buying a crate of books and trying to deliver them with the best intentions, especially tonight's topic, children's books, is there anything people should know about that, or that they should do before trying to do what they genuinely feel is a wonderful thing to do?
Piggybacking on that too, I happen to work in healthcare at the moment, and I know that when COVID hit, we stopped taking all donations, period. We've even got a lost and found that when things would go unclaimed for a certain length of time, we would generally donate those items as well, and that completely stopped. Everything is at that standstill. There have been people who have dropped off donations, just kind of dropped the stuff off, walked out the door, and we've had to discard of them right now. So if you are going to donate to a hospital, please call that facility first, find out if they are accepting I know that July 1st or sometime in July is supposed to be a big thing in Michigan here where we're starting to loosen some of the restrictions, but healthcare is going to not still be in that particular area. So check first. You don't want somebody having to throw these things out, especially if they're brand new.
Yep.
Right. I did a book drive last Christmas for Beaumont Hospital here in Royal Oak. And then I had surgery at the beginning of the year, and I reached out to my contact at Beaumont and I said, hey, I have all these books. I can bring them by. And this was in March. And my contact said, no, don't keep them in your attic or your basement or wherever until we tell you it's safe. So I have like 8 boxes of books that are ready to go to Beaumont, but can't yet because it hasn't been cleared. So I think this is a really super important note for everybody. And it doesn't matter if you're sending them direct from a distributor, if you're drop shipping, don't do it until you have clearance from the facility that it's safe. Even if no matter if it's a hospital or a senior center or a children's center, whatever it is, call ahead and just
Yep.
make sure you get clearance, because the last thing I want to see is boxes of books in a dumpster. I don't
That's
want to see
actually,
that.
I actually have firsthand experience in that. My experience is more in elder care as opposed to children's care. And as horrible as it sounds, the number of books that we had to throw out because of protocol, we didn't know where these were coming from. And yes, a lot of the people are, we can't take a chance. We just can't
Right.
take a chance. Call ahead. This was literally the department that I worked in when I worked in elder care, was trying to determine, even for people, just as kind of like a off to the side, but heads up, the best meaning people who would send over flower arrangements from a funeral, just saying, oh, this will cheer them up. No, those went in the garbage. I'm just going to tell you guys that right away. Always call ahead and see if your donation is something that can be put on the unit, please, because they're not going to tell you again, oh, we're going to put that in the garbage. Call ahead. Just please call ahead.
Yeah.
And so, best intentions and everything like that. When we say, please think about donating these things, think about donating them to a library, or buy a bunch of them, have them in reserve, and then find out when it is going to be appropriate to be able to donate those, where they will be able to put those on the shelves. Just call. That's all you have to
Yep.
do. They
Call,
have
write an
entire
email.
departments.
It's really
Yes.
super simple.
Yep,
Send off
just
an email.
call. Yep.
Somebody will get back with you.
Yes, absolutely. Because again, this is what I used to do, and we will always get back to you.
Thank you, everybody, for reading tonight. Carol, Lisa, Mary Beth, thank you for sharing your stories with us. This was an awesome night.
It was.
Like I say, I love storytelling night. It's just so much fun for me. Before we go, we got to do what we got to do, and that is give away free stuff. Why everybody loves to be here. We love to give away free stuff. So we're going to do that tonight. Tonight, we are giving away 5 spinning wheel prizes. So prize number 1 will be a copy of Water Walkers from Carol Trembath. Prize number 2 is going to be this wacky book that one of our authors, Melinda Falgu, sent me. She's a multi-talented, wacky woman of literature. And she sent me this great book. It's called Her Royal Majesty, the Superhero Bride of Frankenstein. And it's super fun, and it's got really great illustrations that Melinda did herself. So that's going to be our next prize. Also, we're going to give away a copy of Let's Talk from Lisa, Going to the Zoo. We are going to give away a complete Pearl gift set, which is both books and the stuffed animal. And we are going to also give away, because I've got all kinds of inventory, because last year with COVID, we're going to give away a copy of my book illustrated by my husband, David Plopa, and we're going to give this away Emmett Elephant Love. So we're going to give that away too. So we're going to spin the wheel 5 times. So let's see if I can share my screen, and we will spin the wheel. Christopher, can you see the wheel?
I can see it.
Nodding your head. Good.
I was me.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, you know, when I start talking, people tune me out. It's okay. Okay, here we go. So spin number 1 is for water walkers. Here we go. Hooray, Michelle, you've won a book. Yay! Okay, spin number 2 is for Lisa's book, Let's Talk Going to the Zoo.
Diana?
Here.
Diana?
Yeah.
Before you do that, Patty is making a comment that her name is not on there.
Probably because she didn't register before 6 o'clock tonight.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so you have to register before the deadline?
Yep,
Gotcha.
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, just because I have so much prep to do before each one of these that I have to have everybody register by 6 o'clock to get on the spinning wheel of silliness.
She's
Okay,
saying she registered a few days ago, though?
I think it was like June 4th I made that stipulation, and I've been doing it because I found out I have so much to do that I just don't have enough time. So so I've been posting it every day that I post the events, that it has to be by 6 o'clock.
But she said that she registered herself a few days ago.
Okay, I don't know.
I just don't want her to miss out if I'm not trying to interrupt.
All right, so let's do this real quick. Hold on, let me stop sharing. Okay,
It's just, these are like such wonderful books. I want to make sure everyone has a chance to.
No, I get it. I get it. What's her name again?
Patty. I think Patty, Patti, Boise. I think Boyce.
Okay, hold on. Let me add. See, this is why it takes me like time to put this craziness together. So hold on just a second.
You're awesome.
What was that, Deborah? Didn't hear.
I said you're a rock star. You're awesome.
I'm not. I'm marginal at best. Okay.
Oh, hardly.
So we've added Patty to the wheel. Let's try this again. Okay. Everybody good to go?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to give away Lisa's book. Here we go. Spinning the wheel. Hooray, Michael. Okay, spinning wheel number 3 is Melinda Faugus' book that I showed you about The Bride of Frankenstein, which is, I have to read this book. It's silly. Here we go. Hooray, Trudy, you won a book. Okay, the 4th spinning wheel is going to be for Mary Beth and her book set with the stuffed animal. See, I'm so flustered. I can't keep track. Okay, here we go. Patty, that you brought this to our attention, because otherwise that could have been disastrous. Okay, awesome. And then the final spinny wheel will be a copy of my book, Emmett Elephant's Love. Here we go. Hooray, Kit! Yay! Okay, so, okay, now what?
Diana, I think your camera has frozen, unless it's just me.
No,
that would be bad.
Stop sharing.
Otherwise, you're going to have a real neck ache in about 20 minutes.
Can you at least hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, but we can't. There. Are we back in the world now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay. So now you're probably wondering, how is it that you claim your handy dandy snazzy prizes that you just won on the spinning wheel of silliness? Okay, so let me see if I can share this again. My computer is really unhappy. Unhappy computer.
Yeah, there's no
Um,
image for you now at all, so.
Kate, can you jump on the PowerPoint is on OneDrive?
I can. It might take me 1 second. Does anybody else have it up right this second?
I
If-
don't have it up, but I might be able to get to it real quickly.
If not, I'll get to it.
Okay,
Don't worry.
so just in case he's watching the replay, Andrew, we miss you so much right now.
Andrew, we need you.
We could
Andrew is
probably
our
do the slides by
technology
memory.
wizard, and Andrew
Yeah.
fixes all
Yes.
things tech. So
Yeah, that's a good point. We probably could do it from memory.
We probably could at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
oh,
so
I know
let's,
I could.
let's go with
Christopher.
for those who won prizes tonight. In order to claim your prizes, you must send an email to diana@pagespromotions.com by midnight tonight, including your full name and mailing address, so that she will know where to send the books that you won tonight. If you don't claim them by midnight, the prizes will be rolled over to another drawing, and I'm going to put her address in the chat box so you can actually see it.
Because her email is her to-do list.
Indeed it is. My computer, it's trying to catch up, guys. I don't know what's going on with this. It's nutty. Okay, so you want a book? We did that. The next thing is we have bonus prizes.
I can do this. I can do this.
Can you pull it up on Facebook and share your screen? No, because I have to give you permission to share your screen. See, that's the problem we've got here. Hold on.
So
Okay,
if you
go ahead.
actually, okay. So
Go,
if you've
Chris.
actually, wait, you want me to go or no? Okay, I'm going to go. Okay, so if you have won a book, you are going to look for a card inside your book. There's going to be a little scratch off part on the sale. You're going to scratch that off. Please do it as soon as you get your book, because you're either going to be a winner or it's going to say not winner. If you have one, you are going to take a picture of that card and send it to Diana so she knows you have one, and you are going to be eligible for one of many bonus prizes.
Yeah, we have 9 bonus prizes. Can you guys see me and hear me and stuff now?
We can hear you, can't see
Hear
you.
you.
Okay.
Can't see you.
Okay. So then we have super bonus prizes that we're giving away on top of that. Does anybody want to take this from memory, or do you want me to do it?
Well,
Can
there,
anyone see it?
I
I
mean,
can't pull it up.
I can't pull it up either, but there are wonderful little lottery cards. And if you go on the Pages Promotions Facebook site, someone actually, I think, just posted today about winning one of them. So you can kind of see what it looks like. We haven't covered this yet, have we? I'm not repeating myself.
I think those are the
No.
Keep going.
cards,
Okay.
but the super bonus prize, isn't that the one with you have to recite the poem?
Oh,
Oh, yes. Okay. So if you get a one
A
of the
winning
is
card.
that one of the winning cards, then
Right.
you have to put on a production, a very dramatic reading in costume, and read Diana's poem, which we'll make sure that you have, since we can't see it right now. We will definitely make sure that you have that so you can do the dramatic reading, and then there will be a winner. I think 5. Is it 5
You
winners?
post the video on Facebook, and then everyone is going to vote at the end of the
Yes.
month, and the winner will get a huger grand
Huger?
prize. A
Okay,
huge grand
Christopher,
prize.
now come on. Yes.
In short, there are multiple prizes and ways to win, and details are available on the website and the Facebook page.
They are available, and if you also would like an idea of what to do, Andrew did post a video of him reading the poem in a dramatic type way, if you just need an idea of something to do.
So Diana, we are on the one that Andrew usually reads with his huge prize.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, let me see if I can get that shared now. Let's see. Can Diana do this?
we
Boy.
can see you though, so this is good. It's
You know,
progress.
I love technology. I hate technology. Okay, can you guys see the wacky screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so there it is. Huzzah, you've won a book.
We
Then
did
we
that
talked
one.
about the life raft lottery.
We did
right?
that one too.
Yes.
Then we talked about the poem, and this is
Yeah.
posted on Facebook, so you can go and see it there.
Yep, we did that one. This is
Is
where we're
this
at.
where we are?
This is where we are.
Fantastic. You guys are awesome. See, this is why I have the most incredible harbor crew on the planet, because you guys
And why you're buying the first round.
Second, third.
happily, I will happily do that. Okay, of all the videos posted from everybody who wins super bonus prizes, the membership on June 30th at the Venetian Wrap Party will vote for the ultimate performance, and that person will win the astounding grand prize, Embracing the Thrill of Fear from Andrew Smith. He has you starting with a copy of A Slice of Fear, which is a book he wrote. Then you'll take it to the next level as you find your way to Barnes & Noble to spend your $50 gift card on new books and pirate booty, but you're not done. You have to eat. So use your $25 American Express gift card for dinner, a cool bookmark, or a nifty eye patch. What better way to face your fear and move past it with books and your imagination? And we are tremendously grateful to Andrew Smith for donating this incredible prize pack. This is so cool. Thank you, Andrew. We're doing a really fun contest for the authors. This is the Captain of the Fleet contest. This is just for the authors because I think authors need to win stuff too. This is a virtual sail race from Port Huron to Mackinac Island. There is a real sail race that happens every year in Michigan, and so I fashioned it after that. Each time you come to one of these events and you list the name of the authors, or maybe 6 authors that you would like to support, those authors each get a point for your participation. As you can see, our leaderboard right now, Captain Kit DeConti is in the lead with 26 points. D.A. Reed is close at her stern at 19. Then Christopher Gare, Andrew Smith, and Caroline Topperman are all coming in at 18 and 17 points. Our goal is to have 1,000 Shoreline spectators for the entire month. We are at 209 right now. I try to post the new stats on our website every day by about noon or 1 o'clock. So check that out. And the authors are going to get some really snazzy prizes if they win the race. So please support your local indie author and come to the events. It's free for you, and they rack up prizes and get to move northbound through the course. Kate, can you tell us about this insanity before I lose my screen again?
That's okay. All right. So I'm sure that if you showed up tonight, you are still here tonight. You might be quite possibly interested in purchasing some of the books from tonight's authors, not just tonight's, but the entire festival's author, especially what we talked about tonight. Even if it is not your cup of tea, think about purchasing one and donating it. Donating a book. I can't think of a better gift to give or to be given. That's just me. But what you can do is I just popped the link into the chat box again. And one of the greatest things to know about this is Diana and Paige's promotions. They are not taking a single red dime from any of this. This is all going back to the authors. So please just keep that in mind. If you're interested in purchasing any of these, instead of just Googling over to Amazon, please, please, please consider using the link that is now in the chat box. It's very, very intuitive. I was on it yesterday and today, and I was genuinely very, very pleased with how easy and quick and simple it is to find the author and or the book that you're looking for. So I strongly just very strongly suggest that you go over and check it out and consider purchasing that away.
Awesome. Thank you, Madame Kate. Thank you, authors. Thank you for putting up with my crazy technology tonight. Hopefully we won't have issues as the month goes on. Mary Beth, Lisa, Carol, thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for sharing your gifts. We are tremendously grateful. Shots across the bow, harbor crew, Mr. Brent Seth, you get to go first.
I don't have anything, but come in tomorrow because we're having young adult readers tomorrow night.
Thank you very much for letting me know what I'm supposed to do tomorrow, because I never know until the next day. I appreciate that. Christopher Gare, shots across the bow, sir.
I was astounded to learn tonight that people will bring flowers from funeral homes over to older adults. I just hope they don't include a card where it says, "You're next."
Yes, let's hope that doesn't happen.
My bad.
Kate McNeil, shots across the
Thank
bow.
you so much to tonight's authors for making children's books not just something that's entertaining, but something that is very meaningful. This is so incredibly important that we catch young readers while they're young and just get them on their level. So thank you for everything that you have done. This is so incredibly important, and I genuinely hope that you realize how incredibly important you are.
I missed this earlier because I was so flustered with technology, but I don't want to miss it now. Lisa, please just take 30 seconds and tell us about your new astounding award that you got, pretty please.
Oh, absolutely. So I won the Silver Award from Literary Titan, which was so amazing. I was literally jumping up and down like a little kid. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And it's from the Literary Titan website, which is run by a group of reviewers, literary professors, and authors and writers that have been doing this for years and years. So it was an extreme honor. You can find it on their website, literarytitan.com. And they have many, many incredible books. And I am just really, really grateful to be recognized since I have no formal writing training. Just to be recognized by that kind of a group and have the message.
It's pretty awesome.
It's just very grateful. Thank you so much, Deborah.
I'm sorry I missed
so
it
much.
earlier during our chat, but I didn't want to leave without mentioning it. So
No,
thank you very
that's
much.
okay. I
Deborah
appreciate it.
Reed.
No matter what. Thank you, Kate.
Deborah Reed, shots across the bow, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm just going to piggyback kind of on what Kate said. I think, I mean, yeah, writing just for entertainment purposes only, whether it's for children or other people, is perfectly fine. But just thank you for putting the extra time and effort in to actually try to teach and to bring awareness to things that just we really need to know about, and that some people might not even be aware of. Some people might just have misconceptions about. Just all of that type of thing. Thank you for being willing to do that. These are absolutely fantastic books. I mean, wonderful books. So thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming tonight. Thank you for sitting through all my technology snafus. I appreciate it. We are back again tomorrow and more this month. We're only on day 12, you guys. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.